And I met a professor which was very, very inspiring, which was Steve Dutcher. He introduced me to history, and the way he taught history was so exciting that I was telling the group yesterday that I went to study history with some biases because I'm thinking we're the victim as Aboriginal people. We need to be heard. But in the process, I've learned that there's so many people that contributed to Canada, the United States, to the Miramichi in general. So there's a lot of different people that make our community what it is today. And then after my BA, I decided to teach adult education. So I got my BEd in adult education, and then I went further and got my BA in adult education. My master's in adult education. So, and I taught here in different communities and First Nations communities. And I always try to promote Aboriginal culture, Aboriginal history, something that would inspire people to feel good about themselves or realize where they come from. You know, that was always been my goal. And then I seen the job ad come up a couple of times with Mulberry's Island. And I looked at it, I said, this is interesting. Should I do it? Because I had done some other research with First Nations topics before. So I kind of like, okay, do I have time? Would I do this? Because I know how much work it involves doing the research and how much sorting things out and coming up with information, traveling. Like, no, I know all that. So I'm like, is this what I really want to do? And then like COVID happened. I said, maybe this is the time. I said, because everything is done online, I'll give it a try. So I did apply for the job. And I think a couple of times, I think the ad came up, but nobody was applying. So I said, I'll give it a try. So, and then I've learned that Tesha got the job. And I said, good, it's an Aboriginal person because as a novel person, as a Diné woman, I like to see people from the community, especially living in the Mi'kmaq community. I like to see the Mi'kmaq people get the jobs, and somebody's qualified. I'm like, good, more power to them. Then Sean calls me up and says, since you did some research before, can you help us be a consultant with this program? We'll create a position for you. And I'm like, wow. I said, that's good, I'm recognized for the things I do. I'm glad. And I really was honored and I really appreciate it. And as we went along, I realized that I guess I always had a connection to Mulberry's Island because when the dedication was made at Mulberry's Island, when the building was built and everything, was my husband that did the ceremony to dedicate the place, right? And then my son worked at Mulberry's Island as one of the actors and the tour guides for there. So he knew Sean. So I'm like, somehow I've always been connected with Mulberry's Island. And then here I am again, so it made us all three of us be here. So that's my spiel on Miramichi